Yo guys, it's CFB. Welcome back to a brand new video. Welcome back to the channel today. Yes, we have a different type of video for you all here today. It's a Chelsea targets video. These are the targets Chelsea should, in my opinion, be hitting going into the Premier League season. That is happening, by the way, this week. Literally at the time I'm recording this, well, 2 days officially until it kicks off, because I'm recording this on the Wednesday. It officially starts on Friday, but Chelsea's season starts on the Sunday. So 4 days time for Chelsea. But either way, this week is the Premier League. We're finally back. I can't wait. I'm really excited. So these are the targets I expect Chelsea to be hitting this season. So I did a similar video around this time last year. So anyway, before we do get into the video, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications to notify every time I load a video. Also, first link in the description is my streaming channel, my second channel. Go and check those out. Be very much appreciated. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. Also, as well, we are only 3 subscribers off hitting the big 500, which the goal is set for hitting by the 21st of August. So, 21st, 20th, 19, 18. We have got 8 days to hit that target. Can we do it? Let's see. Anyway, let's now move on to the video. So, we'll be talking about everything to do with Chelsea here today. Everything. So, Premier League expectations, Cup expectations, and all that type of jazz. You know what I'm trying to say? Champions League and stuff. I will be talking about all the good stuff here today. You know what I'm trying to say? Let's start off with the Premier League. What is my expectation for Chelsea in the Premier League? Do I expect us to go on and win the title? No. Do I expect us to finish top 6? Are you having a laugh? No. Especially after the Club World Cup? Absolutely not. No, I expect Chelsea. My expectation for Chelsea this season, and I'll tell you the reason why I've chose this, is just top 4. Go and get me top 4. Look, as long as we've got Champions League football again ready for next season, that should be the minimum again. All the time for Chelsea, it should be top 4. For me, the old Chelsea, it was always get top 2, top 3. You know what I'm trying to say? In and around, quite close to first. You know what I'm trying to say? Get in and around that area. But we know this Chelsea team's still in build. It's still young. So you can't expect the world off them. You know what I'm trying to say? But I do expect top 4. And this year, I don't want top 4 being a scrape until last game of the season, making it quite tight and quite difficult to get it. I don't want it to be a last game of the season where we get top 4. No, I want this wrapped up. I want top 4 wrapped up a couple weeks, if not even better, maybe 1 or 2 months prior to the season ending. I want it to be an easy one, done and dusted. We've got top 4. Thank you very much. Now we can focus on next season. You know what I'm trying to say? I want it to be that smooth for us going into the new season. Because leaving it until last game of the season is always tense. It's always tense. We don't need to be that tense. Chelsea Football Club shouldn't be making top 4 that tense. It should be relatively quite comfortable. So I think, to me, it should be easy top 4, but also in a way getting more points than last season. I expect 70 plus, in and around the 73, 74 margin, which is more points than what we got last season, because we got 68 or 69 points last season. So I expect a couple of points more than last season, which is obviously a much more bigger improvement. But also closing the gap on first. And what do I mean by closing the gap on first? Because I think the Premier League season is going to be quite a tight season again. I do think it's going to be a quite tight season where the points tally for first isn't going to be 90 plus. I think it's going to be in and around the 80 mark like last year. And if it is 90, it'll only be low 90s. That's what I reckon. It's not going to be a cakewalk, I think. I expect us to be closing the gap on first. You know what I'm trying to say? Getting that gap closed. So we're more closer to the top than we are to 5th and 6th. That's what I'm basically trying to say. I expect us to close that gap and see us getting better, even in head-to-head games against like the top teams, the top six, for example. I expect our head-to-head games against them to be more tighter, us to look a bit better, maybe get a few more better results than what we did last season. That's what I want to see personally. Obviously, more wins than losses compared to last season as well. That's my Premier League prediction. I'm not expecting us, well, not prediction, expectation, because my prediction is 4th, because I do think other teams that are above us, who were above us last year, have improved on their team, and we've improved on our team as well, but like, they're young, you know what I'm trying to say, compared to Liverpool, for example, who brought in some good experience alongside some decent young players as well. Say with Man City and Arsenal, you know what I mean? So that's why if we get 4th, I'll be happy. But the season after, I'll be expecting us to be contending for the Premier League. You know what I'm trying to say? If we do get the accomplishment that I've set of expectation this season. So anyway, that's my expectation for the Premier League. Now let's move on to the Champions League. This is where Chelsea belong. We belong in the Champions League. I'm so excited for Champions League match previews, reviews. I'm really hoping now I've got a job, I'm getting good money from the job. I'm really hoping I can go to a Champions League night at Stamford Bridge, which I've never done before. It would be an absolute dream to do. I'm hoping we can do it this season. And trust me, the match vlogs will be coming in thick and thin if that's the case. But enough of that. That's enough for another day. In the Champions League, obviously, since the last time we were in the Champions League, there was group stages. It was group games and knockouts, etc., etc. Now it's a league table. I think it's the first 24 get promoted into knockout stages, I think, or it's, you know, around that number. You know what I mean? A 20-24 margin, I think it is. The rest obviously get demoted. Some into the Europa League, some, I don't even know. I've barely read really into this whole league format. I just know that a certain amount from the top get promoted. And I'm pretty sure it's 24. But I don't think we need to worry about that, because my expectation is Chelsea to get the top 8. I expect us to be around that top 8 margin. Come on. If we weren't champions of the world, for example, we didn't win the Club World Cup, I may be scraping on top 15, because I mean I don't think PSG got top 10, did they? They definitely didn't come first or anything like that. It was them or another big team. They didn't get top 10, but they made it quite far in the Champions League. You know what I'm trying to say? It depends on the draw you get in this league format, but I expect us, especially being champions of the world, to be in that top 8 bracket. Preferably, I'd love top 5. I'd love top 5, but there is other teams that, even though we're champions of the world, world champions, there is other teams that obviously do look a little bit better. But top 8 for me would be perfect. I'd be happy with top 8. You know what I'm trying to say? That should be the expectation, because we are a top 10 team in the world, in my opinion. We should be, especially being world champions. So top 8 for me, that should be the expectation. Top 8 if you want to round it to the next, you know, nearest number, obviously. But preferably, and this is where my biggest expectation is in the Champions League, I expect Chelsea to get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And why do I say to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, obviously, and onwards, obviously, is because of one big thing as well. This Chelsea team isn't the finished article. We know this. They're such a young team. But I'm going to say it again. Obviously, being world champions, you've got to hold that certain caliber for your club. You got to. Imagine we get knocked out in the league format. Embarrassing. What about if we get knocked out in the first knockout stage? Depends on the team, really. If we get like a PSG or a Real Madrid, you know what I mean? It's going to be like, yeah. But even then, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it will be a little bit embarrassing. Quarterfinals, I am absolutely happy with, and onwards. Because remember the 22-23 season, that god-awful season where we finished 12th, yeah? We played in the Champions League that year, and we still made the quarterfinals. We still got amazing results against some really, really good teams at that point. Dortmund, for example, we had a comeback where we lost the first game. This was whilst we had Potter and stuff out in charge, and Lampard and stuff. Potter was in charge for the Dortmund game. We made a comeback in the second game at the Bridge, winning 2-1 to go through, or 2-0 to go through, I think it was. For the Real Madrid game, I know we lost against Real Madrid, but we somewhat held our own at times. We had Lampard at the helm in that game. We had some good results in the group stage, especially against AC Milan. We smashed them up. In that turbulent season, we still made the quarterfinals in the Champions League. Chelsea have this massive Champions League heritage at the Bridge. We do. Under the lights, no matter what team it is, no matter what season we're having, we turn up. Because the fans turn up. On a Champions League night at the Bridge, I still stand by it, and I'm not being biased or anything like that. It's one of the hardest grounds to go to in the Champions League. It is. And in my opinion, our current team we've got right now, that we've invested in and stuff like that, the team we currently got with the possible equations of Xavi Simons and potentially Garnacho, but you know I don't rate Garnacho that highly. This team is significantly better than that 22-23 team, so why can't we go to the quarterfinals or higher? You know what I'm trying to say? So that's my Champions League expectation for Chelsea. Look, if we go and win a Champions League, I don't care. If we go win the Champions League, I don't care about this expectation. I'll be gassed. But yeah, that's my minimum expectation for the Champions League for Chelsea. So now let's go on to trophy expectations, cup expectations. I expect Chelsea to go and win the Champions League and the Premier League. Let's go and do a double. Nah, that's unrealistic, obviously. If we did pull that off, oh my God, I would come on here and you don't even want to know. Rival fans, if you're watching this, you don't even want to know. You better hope we don't win the Premier League and Champions League. You know what I'm trying to say? No, realistic expectation, like I said, Premier League and Champions League, I've already given my expectation of what it should be for Chelsea. I don't think we'll win the Premier League or Champions League, but boy, would it be amazing. You know what I'm trying to say? My expectation is we should be winning a trophy this season. In fact, I think we must be winning a trophy this season. If we won a double last season with a team that's not as good as this team, you know, this team now used to Maresca's system. The players are used to Maresca's system. We've got new players that have come in that are better than some of the players we're bringing out. Jackson out, for example. For players like João Pedro and Delap, in my opinion, significant upgrades in those areas and stuff like that. Andre Santos coming in, Estavo, potentially Xavi Simons, Gittins for Madueke. You know, we've improved in massive spaces here. This team's way better. It should be getting a trophy this season, this coming season. Yes, I know we got a double last season because the Club World Cup ties into last season. That's just the way it does. That's the rules. But since there's no Club World Cup, obviously, here this season, I do expect us to be winning a trophy. I do think we should be winning a trophy. Preferably for me, it doesn't matter what trophy we win. Preferably, I would like a domestic cup because it's been a long time since we last won a domestic cup. It really has. I think the last time we won a domestic cup, if you don't know what a domestic cup is, it's a cup in the English league, like your league, you know, where you're from. So for us, it would be FA Cup, Carabao Cup, or Premier League. There would be the three. They're the domestic trophies that you can win. Obviously, like I said, Premier League's not possible. The last time Chelsea won a domestic trophy was 2018 under Antonio Conte. In the FA Cup, it was FA Cup final against Manchester United. Eden Hazard penalty. That was the last time we won a domestic cup, which was obviously an FA Cup. Last time we won a Carabao Cup must have been like 2014, Jose Mourinho. Premier League was 2016, Conte. So it's been a long time since we won a domestic trophy, and would I love the Premier League? Obviously, bloody yes, but it's obviously a little bit unrealistic. So by a realistic standard, a domestic trophy of either a Carabao Cup or FA Cup. We've come so close in FA Cups and Carabao Cups over recent years since 2018. You know, there's been two finals against Arsenal. One of them I did think we got robbed out of against Arsenal, but that's a story for another day. But there's been two finals in the FA Cup against Arsenal, which we've lost. One FA Cup against Liverpool, which we lost. The Carabao Cup final against Liverpool, which we lost, which we got robbed out of as well. That Lukaku goal should have stood. So we've come so close to winning a domestic trophy. We should be able to do it this season. We've got the team. We've got the team for it, and it would just be really nice to win a domestic trophy. But a trophy in general, you know, go and bag me a Champions League or a Premier League, and you know what? It's significantly better than the FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. Either one of them. Even if it's not domestic, it's a Champions League. I don't give a bollocks. You know what I'm trying to say? But realistic, I would like a domestic trophy, and I think domestic trophy plus top four, I think would be a massive success for Chelsea for a second season, where the next season we could go on and we can hopefully challenge for the Premier League. So yeah, in terms of domestic cups, by the way, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, I expect us to get to quarterfinals minimum of both competitions. Obviously, depends on the opponents, obviously, but they are my expectations for Chelsea. So that is it for today's video, guys. Let me know your comments down below. Your expectations for Chelsea this season, not predictions. These aren't predictions, by the way. These are what you think should be the expectations for the club going into the new season. That is literally ahead of us in 4 days' time. I cannot wait. So, as my PC goes berserk, thank you all for watching this video, guys. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications to know every time I load a video. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. The next one could be a preview for the new game. Who knows? We'll have to see on transfer news. Anyway, see you on the next video. Take care. Peace.